Hey guys, so it has been a while, um, for lots of reasons. So this video is mainly just gonna be me talking. I didn't prepare much. I just thought, I'd have a talk. So, um, pretty much still gonna be ASMR. I guess just because naturally I kind of sound like this already. Um, well, someone's calling me, but like I said, this was kind of just impromptu. Like I literally just sat down. But yeah, it's been a while. You could probably see that because I'm not used to looking at the camera again, doing all that. So usually just it feels like I'm just talking. But yeah, I guess we'll start off. I wanted to give you guys like a channel update, life update, things like that. And it's kind of funny because I don't get that many viewers, right? But yeah, just you know, from a human being to another human being, just a little conversation, right? I guess on my end, because you guys can't talk back technically. Maybe in the comments, right? But okay. Anyway, Jesus, they're spamming my phone, but not right now. So pretty much, um, I get these like creative outlets sometimes if I have free time, and I started my channel mainly because I wanted to see how it would go, right? Just, you know, I've been watching ASMR for maybe like 10 years, I think. And funny enough, the first time I heard about ASMR, I did not care for it. I looked it up and it didn't matter. Like, it was just something I learned, and that was it. Like, it wasn't until months later that I actually got into it and then listened to it nonstop. Um, and I still do nearly every day. Trying to think of how I could say the story. I don't remember all the way. But pretty much, I think it was about maybe 8 years ago, 9 years ago. I was listening to some kind of, I think it was a podcast or something, and they mentioned, or they had on this girl, Gibby, I think. I don't know how to say her name. Guy B, Gibby. I don't know. Anyway, at the time, she was one of the biggest. I don't know if she still is. I don't I don't follow her or anything. I think she still is because she was huge. Um, but okay, I remember it was this podcast I used to listen to. I think it was called the real pod. No, I forgot. But I do remember the YouTuber that created that podcast was a guy named Penguin Zero, and I grew up watching his videos. I think he's a little older than me, so we had about the same sense of humor at the time. But yeah, I found that guy when I was like 11 on YouTube. Like, I think it was like 2007. No, I think I was a little older, but yeah, it was way back then. So this guy was funny. I knew him as a comedian kind of dude. Like, he would just make voiceovers over games he played and whatnot, and it was stupid, but it was funny for the time. It was a different time. And anyway, that guy later made a podcast, and you look it up. I'm sure it will come out. I think he goes more by um, actually, I don't even know what he goes by now. I kind of stopped watching him maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. But yeah, he would go by Critical or Penguin Zero, and he made a podcast, and he had that girl on, Gibby. And I remember looking her up. I listened to the thing, to her videos, and I didn't feel anything. I didn't care. I'm not saying she wasn't good or anything, right? Like, I think everyone, has their preference. But yeah, I think because of that, later, a video was recommended to me by YouTube, right? And it was by Latte ASMR. And I will be 100% honest. I clicked on the video because I thought she was pretty, you know. But then I listened, and I was like, oh dang, this is different. This is calming. And Latte was the first, I guess, fan that I was of ASMR. Like, I was there. I was there for her. And yeah, that girl could put me to sleep. Like, she had that headlock on me. But she was really good. She's still really good. I still listen to her things, but she doesn't post as frequent anymore. But at the time, I think she was kind of new, and her channel was blowing up. But yeah, she kind of started me getting into this space. And from my perspective, she puts a lot of effort, because there's a lot of different types of ASMRists, and she puts up a whole bunch of, like, a whole set, and she's an actress, like, in it. She's role playing, but she's really, really good. And at the time, I thought, like, most ASMR was like that, so I didn't even consider doing that, because it takes a lot of money and whatnot. And I was in college at the time, so no, I was barely getting by. So yeah, I mainly listened to her. Later, I found another girl called Ting Ting, I think. Ting Ting ASMR. I think she's Chinese. And she's also really good, but again, it was role plays and whatnot. And the thing was that I never really watched the videos. I would just listen to them, and then I would doze off or just relax for a bit. So most of the time I never listened to the whole video unless I fell asleep. And I just kind of assumed most people were like that. At the time, a lot of the comments were like that. And as time went on, the fan base changed a little, or maybe just different types of people came. But a lot of people now, it's more like they use it to relax more than sleep, but still, for its intended purpose. And yeah, and then at the time, I think I found Ephemeral Rift right after. I think that's how you say it, Ephemeral Rift. He's an interesting dude. I mean, I don't know him personally, right? But his videos are really, really out there. And that guy Rift, his videos were like either way less prepared, or like just completely, like, really creative. And at that point, I was somewhat, like, inspired, and this was maybe 6 years ago now. But yeah, I was like, yeah, maybe I could do something like that, because that guy's stories were really weird, but, like, interesting, So Briff, he was really good. I still listen to him whenever he does some things, but for the most part, I like calming talking or soft speaking and whispers. That's mainly what I listen to. So objects and tapping and all that, I usually don't click on those unless it's from a specific creator that will also talk in the video. And then, well, yeah, pretty much. I think maybe during that same year I found Goodnight Moon, and she also really, really good. And by that time, I was already like, I guess I considered myself an actual person that listens to ASMR like a lot, because I don't know anyone else that does. And around that time, people were barely understanding or like even knowing what it was. Um, so I think 5 years ago was like the peak for me with it. Um, so I got lost in thought. Like I said, I don't have a script or anything. It was just like, hey, I'm gonna have a conversation. Like I was literally cooking before this, so um, and I'm trying to like I guess section how the conversation is gonna be in my mind. So started off by telling you how I got started in ASMR and all that, and then I'll tell you like what's happening right now in my life. But yeah, oh, that was like 5 years ago now. Then as some time went on, I don't want to get this guy's name wrong. I call him Matt because his name's Matt, but I gotta say he's my favorite right now. Maybe it's hard to pick a favorite. Yeah, I follow like 12 ASMRs. Oh yeah, this guy Articulate Design. I think maybe overall, he's the guy. Like I don't know what to say. I think everything he does, freaking he he hits it out of the park every single time. And again, his thing is all role plays also. Um, but yeah, I guess I kind of feel like I gotta give shout outs to like all of them, but they're a lot bigger than me, so that's not gonna, you know, to all my 140 subscribers, you guys could check these guys out too. But yeah, like Shortbread, ASMR Shortbread is another, Maddie ASMR, and Maddie, it sounds like I'm saying Matty, but it's a Maddie, Madi ASMR. So the thing with hers is that I saw her channel like explode, so I always felt kind of happy for her. Um, it's one of those like you see she had like 30,000 subscribers or something when I first saw her, and right now I don't even know where she's at. Let me see. She has 490,000. So yeah, like it's cool to see that happen. But like yeah, these guys like I thought they were great. They are great, right? So those were the ones I look up to, right? Like that I wanted to, I guess, kind of emulate, but at the same time I wanted to do my own thing. So the reason I kind of stopped was that it is very hard. A lot of creators, this is a creative outlet, right? If you're lucky, or maybe if opportunity or fate just throws that at you, you could make a job out of this, a career, right? Now, I'm not sure how many of those that I've named do that. Probably most of them, because they have really big channels, but I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to try this out, right, as a creative outlet. Now, if I made a career out of this would be pretty freaking cool. But at the same time, if you make a career out of a hobby, you could lose passion for it, because then it's you're doing it for the money. But yeah, I wanted to try it out, and at the time, I don't remember when I started exactly. Okay, no, I do. I think I do. It was about 2 months after I left the job that I was in for a year, a little over a year. And I was an overnight administrator, slash investigator. And whatever roles. I was coordinator for the staff, coordinator for the nurses. I did a whole bunch of stuff. And all the extra stuff I didn't get paid. But, you know, that job sucked. Paid good. Paid really good for my area. I live in a really low cost of living area. So that job paid great. And I'm good at saving and whatnot. So, yeah. So I left that job and I kind of regret it. I kind of don't. It was a dangerous job. You're surrounded by patients that had a lot of, disabilities, which, when you first hear, you're just like, oh, we could help them. We want to help them. It gets your caring side out. But when you get there, you find out almost all of them are criminals. And, they weren't just disabled, they were violent, and they didn't have, basically you were in their home. That was my job. You were in a mental health facility, you're at their home, and they have a bunch of control. Like, they could do whatever they want. There's some rules, right? Of course, like if two clients are fighting each other and whatnot, you go try to intervene, but not necessarily. Like, you can't grab them, you can't separate them unless they're, actually causing big harm. But I'm going into detail. Pretty much what I'm saying is that job, it could have, it could have been a legal liability. A lot of workers that I knew did get in trouble legally just by, not following protocol or things like that. And the protocol changes, and there's a big lack of communication in that job. But I did my part really, really good. That just, it was just so much turnover with other managers and whatnot. And I was an admin, so I was like middle management. But Jesus, I did not get along with the directors. And it wasn't so much that I was defiant or anything. I just, they were really into gossip and whatnot. That's what they did all the time. And I'm kind of quiet unless I vibe with you. So yeah, like in my group, we were cool with each other, but it always felt like the directors were just changing rules, trying to do whatever they felt like at the time, and they didn't really communicate it with us. It felt like you were stepping on eggshells a lot of the time. But the reason I say all of this is because I felt guilty leaving. I felt bad. And I think I mentioned before in this channel, I don't remember, to be honest. But yeah, I grew up with depression, and it was always really hard for me to find a spot I feel I belong in life. And, that led me into learning philosophy and some religions and all that. And, leaving a good, quote unquote, good job like that, I felt bad about it. Because it's really, really hard to get a job around here that pays more than 14 an hour. And I didn't want to make the whole video about this, but I could go on about this topic alone. I guess I count as a millennial, but I'm on the very, very young side of them. And yeah, even with experience, it's hard to find a job around here. Most places will pay 11 to 14 bucks an hour, and it's all customer service roles. So it's either customer service or sales. And Jesus, that's not I don't feel that's for me. I mean, unless I'm really desperate, which is probably soon. Yeah, that ain't for me. So, there's a lot of things that make job finding hard. Like, you could look it up, ghost jobs that on websites exist, but in real life they don't. And it just sounds like corruption, And then say the job does exist. Now you gotta beat whoever is in there and is buddies with the HR people or the leaders there or the directors, and it always feels like you're on the back foot the whole time. That's because, like me, I have 3 professional licenses. I have 1 degree and I guess maybe I don't even remember, 8 certificates and random things, any HR things. I can't think right now. I don't even remember. Because after a while, nobody cares about your certificates and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, I've been a detective, I've been a teacher, I've been in sales, I've been a negotiator, I've done a whole bunch of stuff, and I regret leaving teaching the most. But even then, you guys could look it up. There's so many problems with teaching. For me, it was classroom management. Some days just feels like you're a babysitter. You get along with the students, right? And they'll have a blast, and you'll have a blast, and they could still learn. I was teaching them some higher level stuff, like college level, and they picked it up. But I was kind of lenient with my rules, and I guess at that time to administration, that ranks you kind of not too good in classroom management. But yeah, it just feels like I never really got to land on a good career, and that really hits me hard, doubles down with depression. And I'm sorry if there's background noises and whatnot, but that was another thing I was gonna say. When I started this channel, I was still pretty much living all night and sleeping during the day. But now I'm kind of more normal. I'm awake during the day. So I live in an apartment, right? You might hear neighbors, you might hear cars, and for this one, I think we're all right. But I'm gonna make sure. I didn't want to do too much editing. I didn't want to, do too much. Basically, I just wanted to sit down and attempt this again. But yeah, so being lost in life it is a constant thing that I feel, and it's hard. It's very, very, very hard. In some ways, I'm lucky. I've been very lucky my whole life that I have good friends. They're very helpful and supportive, and I don't have a lot of friends, but I have 3 friend groups, and they're all solid. They're all very good people. I know people my age that don't even have 1 friend, let alone a friend group. Let alone multiple friend groups. So on that end, I've been very, very lucky. No, I'm sorry for all those mouth noises. I forget that this mic will probably pick up everything. But equally as unlucky would probably be my love life. But again, it depends. I don't like hookup culture. And I'm a hardcore romantic, so being like that in this day and age, oof, you're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get hurt. It's gonna happen. But if you're a quote hopeless romantic, you know what I'm talking about. Jesus, it is rough out here. Anyway, Um, I guess lately I want to say I don't feel lonely on that end. So again, I guess I could be lucky for that. Especially because I look at the internet, and a lot of guys are hurting in that aspect, but you never know. You never know all the details. Like I feel lucky and unlucky at the same time on that end. It was like I'm fit and I'm healthy, and I don't want to hype myself up too much, but I think I'm kind of witty. I could make pretty good jokes, and I think usually that's enough to get by. But I'm kind of short, and I know with the Gen Z people, like height is it's more of a thing than it was with younger millennials. Because like yeah, I'm 5'5", so no, I'm not even 5'5". What am I saying? 5'4". I was thinking of one of my exes, but yeah, like half of my exes were taller than me, and not by that much though. Maybe like an inch or maybe my height. But yeah, it bums me out when I see a lot of sad young men on the internet just feeling like they're damned, because of their height. And it's just one of those, like, I don't know how much of that is real. But, you know, I don't see that. I'm lucky. I'm lucky. But I'm unlucky that my depression feels like a curse. And depression is a massive turnoff in the dating world. They don't see it right away, right? But once you're actually dating, they usually see, like, hey, this guy, like, they expect, maybe to go out more, maybe to be more outgoing and all that kind of stuff. And most times it's just not gonna happen. Like I feel like I still have a curse. Like depression feels like a curse. And yeah, mine is pretty strong. Anyway, I think I kind of lost track of how this connects to everything. It's pretty funny. But pretty much trying to connect the dots here. During a massive depressive episode after I left my job, I couldn't find a job for a long time actually. So I started my ASMR channel during that time, and I stopped. I think I was dating a girl, and she pretty much told me she wanted to hang out more often, and I was like, ooh, I gotta cut back on some hobbies. And yeah, at the time, I would also stream video games, but again, that wasn't. I didn't feel that was so fulfilling, especially when you have no viewers. Like with some games, I had sometimes up to 10 people, but like 90% of the time, I had like one or two. And then there's so many scammers and whatnot. Like, and I get kind of nervous, like, what if your only fan ends up being like a crazy guy? Like a freaking stalker? Like, that'd be, I don't want that. I'm just a dude playing games, right? Like, yeah. So, I didn't feel much fulfillment from streaming games. I don't play video games that often anymore, except when I'm doing cardio. I still work out a lot, though. I usually try to work out I lift about an hour, 2 hours a day. So 5 to 6 times a week. And then I do cardio, but just a steady state, maybe like level 2 cardio. An hour to 2 hours every day. Cardio I try to do every day. But yeah, during that time, pretty much my girlfriend, she wanted to spend more time, and I was still like kind of depressed. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I just listened, right? So I stopped gaming and I stopped doing ASMR at that time. But yeah, I thought about coming back a lot of the times because, when I split with her, you know, I don't want to say she was splitting with her was a big factor to this. um, it was more so I think I wanted to focus on like learning more stuff, and doing this takes up some time. So I don't remember what I was doing. I was just learning job stuff. I think I was learning how to code a bit more, and also learning about what's that called? Registered behavioral technicians. Yeah, I think it was that. So basically, fast forward a couple of months, I ended up working for sales. I was doing insurance sales, and that thing, it wasn't that bad to be honest, but my depression comes and goes, kind of like in waves. But this particular moment was extremely heavy, and I quit that job. But I worked for 3 months, and I made some money. It was cool. And I've been living off savings basically for the past year and a half. And again, I'm very lucky. I'm grateful to, have set up my cards good enough to live through savings. Because, growing up, I grew up very poor. I grew up, my parents, they didn't have money saved up. It was always paycheck to paycheck. And not having a job is really weird. Like, I know I could go work at some minimum wage place probably, but part of my pride doesn't let me. But at the same time, it's like, it's only a matter of time. But yeah, I've been pretty much living off my savings for a year. And then I do like a job for a little bit, and then I come back to the same cycle. And one day that has to stop, right? But it's hard. It's hard. Like, just this year alone, it's February 15th today. From New Year's Day, I applied to like 60 jobs. They're like from their company website. So, making an account, having to fill out everything they're asking for, which is already on your freaking resume, right? But you gotta fill out all those little boxes they have, and you gotta repeatedly be doing that. And it takes forever, and they don't even call you back. They don't call you. They don't message. They don't do anything. They don't email. They don't. It's very disheartening, and that's a big word for this, for what's going on with all this. I feel like life has been disheartening for a while, and again, I'm good with people, oddly enough, right? Because I'm a massive introvert, but I don't know why. Like, usually when I meet someone face to face, I feel like 90%, 95% of the time, I could connect with them. Like, I'll figure it out. I'll figure them out. And that's helped me, put myself in positions where I could survive. Because I know had my personality not been, kind, I'd be suffering a lot more. Anyway, yeah, sometimes I think, just a little daydream, like, this channel took off. Like, if I jumped to an extreme amount of views and it blew up, like this, I could do this for a living, but even then, right, it'd be pretty hard. It'd be hard to get, what are they called, endorsements, advertisers, or products and all that. That's usually how ASMR people make money, I think. But then, I'd have to have a whole set back here and make sure I, never talk about anything too hardcore. Which, I mean, I wouldn't do anyway, right? But, yeah, that'd be nice, though. Having, being able to do that. But yeah, pretty much, personally, I always respected, like, real vibe from videos. Maybe because, like, I grew up with older YouTube, right? And it was literally called broadcast yourself. And, as I was a kid, a preteen at the time, I was a bit more mean with some people doing vlogs and whatnot. But now looking back, I feel like that was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool time, the mid 2000s. Everyone was just living their life and be like, hey, in my part of the world or in my lifestyle, this is me. This is what I think. This is what I feel. And then they put it in video, and it was there. It was on YouTube. So part of me wanted to do that, and I guess I combined this video with ASMR and that, and now I got whatever this is. But yeah, like I said, I just sat down, and hopefully the audio's picking up and all that, and everything's good. But yeah, this disheartening is what it is. It is what it is. Like, sometimes I get, discouraged, disheartened, unmotivated. Like, I sometimes get ASMR, and I'm not, let me preface this by saying I don't want to put anyone down. It's not the message I'm trying to say, right? It's more so just me, my feeling of not getting what I thought, would be okay or a decent return. And again, like, I don't like to talk negative. That's why I feel like maybe I shouldn't even bring this up. But I gotta. I feel like a lot of small creators feel like this at some points. Like, you have ideas, you set them up, and you execute them pretty good. But some people just randomly, they'll get on YouTube, they'll make their first video, and they blow up. Maybe not that much, right? But still, like, I'll give you an example. I think it was a few months ago. This random girl, and I'm using this example, I'm not going to say her name, but it's not negative, right? But pretty much she was doing ASMR on her phone, and she had bad video quality, she had bad camera quality, and the audio was not, it wasn't, not only was it kind of rough, but it was inconsistent. So yeah, it was not a good experience, I'll say that. Like, as ASMR, it was not good. But she did have passion. Like, it looked like she knew what she wanted to do. So for that's the reason I say I'm not going to be negative about that. However, I think she had like 40,000 views within a day. And to me, that's like, what the, Like, I see other channels here, small creators, like, they have hundreds of videos they've been doing for years. And their top video probably gets like 3,000 views. And it's just one of those things, I'm like, it's very weird. But again, we don't know why that happens. We don't all know the exact algorithm that pushes some things and some things doesn't and all that. So, I wouldn't get too much into that. But it is what it is. And it is disheartening sometimes. But I mean, in another perspective, hey, you know, she had a big push. And that's good, right? Someone that started something new. She got a big push, and yeah. After a while, she did upgrade some things a little bit. I subscribed, you know? You can't call me a hater. I'm subscribed to that girl still. But yeah, she was, again, I think I didn't talk about this earlier, because it's not a problem. So I'll call it an observation. But another thing with YouTube is, you know, looks attract. And me, you know, if I'm trying to just make a video, you know, I wouldn't even know what is considered attractive for a dude. It's like very all over the place. But, you know, a lot of cute girls, they sit and they get auto views. Like automatically they get them. And again, that is a pro and a con, because maybe in their eyes they're thinking like it's not good because the viewership they're getting is because their looks, not because of the ASMR. But at the same time, at least they're getting somewhere, you know. So again, that keyword disheartening. But nah, deep down, I wouldn't blame them. Like I'll probably get my 20 views off of this. maybe after 6 months it would jump up to like 300. Yeah. Anyway, another thing is not even a thing. I was gonna bring it all together now, right? But nah, I think that was it. Long story short, you need a lot of time, you need a lot of creativity to keep on doing this ASMR stuff. I guess I feel that in my end, right? There's some ASMRs that I feel their stuff is very repetitive. But, I mean, if it fits someone's needs, then hey, they're doing it. Personally, though, as a creator, I wouldn't be able to do that unless, well, that's the thing, right? Unless it fits my creative direction. So everyone's different. But I guess a part of me that wants to do things a certain way, if I don't have any ideas, I'm probably not going to start anything. Well, for example, I recently got into painting. I don't think I had mentioned that. But yeah, I'm a painter now. It's one of my many hobbies. I've done 34 paintings in the past 4 months. And I started with no experience whatsoever. So that's fun. Anyway, I went on a tangent. I am a fool. This is a very odd video. But yeah. Creative. I have a creative block. I get depression in waves, and then I know deep down, sooner or later, something's gotta give. Either I get a job that pays pretty good, and I try my best to stay there, because I know being unemployed feels like you're dying, like you're just hemorrhaging money away. And eventually I'm gonna have to go and do whatever. But yeah, I mean, I would tell my friends as a joke I'm going to Taco Bell, but I probably will. Who knows? I love Taco Bell. I don't know about working there, but I love the food. Anyway, yeah, I think I covered everything I wanted to talk about. And again, forgive me if I'm not looking at the camera that often. I have a screen here, you know, so I automatically tend to look at the screen instead of the camera. And also, I haven't made a video in almost a year or months. I don't even know. Anyway, I think that's it, guys. Um, like always, take care. Life is hard. Life is very hard, and ASMR could give us a little audio distraction, I guess. But yeah. I'll probably be back if I do get an idea. It's not really my intention to let this channel go. But, whatever happens, happens. But as of right now, I will try kind of to get more ideas and whatnot. But yeah, like personally, it's just some days not even some days, most of the time, I just kind of want to sit down and do something. And I think when you're a creator, when you have a specific, niche subject like ASMR, almost every single video I see, you got the presenter there, the creator, right? And they have a set, they have a certain look, everything's so ready. It's like a whole production. It's a production. It's literally like a movie, right? And sometimes I don't have the energy to do that. I don't have the drive to do that. Like, I'm shaved right now. My hair isn't too crazy. Okay, it is a bit crazy. Okay, I'm gonna end up making this a comedy if I stay here any longer. But like always, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this a bit. Hopefully this has answered some questions. And like always, appreciate you guys wherever you guys are from. Take care and live life, and remember, life is beautiful. Be kind to yourself, be kind to everybody. And yeah, I will probably see you guys next time. For now, I will go. I made some eggs and biscuits. I'm gonna go eat that. But yeah, see you guys later.